I am Angel Amoroso, and welcome to Angel Amoroso Versus. I am back, and I am back with a new episode of our new show, Fuck You, Mick Foley, episode 2. And we're not going to waste any time today at all. We're going to get right into it. So, as I said before, the first few episodes were from Facebook Live. So let's get right to it and get right into it. You got any comments? Leave them down under the video. Here we go. Good evening, Facebook Live. I am Angel Amoroso, and I am joined here by my daughter, Christina J. Polis. And we are here for episode 2 of Fuck You, Mick Foley. So, I hope we split the screen properly and everyone could get to see exactly what it is we're going to get into. Kevin Kennedy has joined us. Welcome, Kevin. What we're going to do is take some stuff from last year that was from around this time, since people want to be real excessive trolls and torture me and my family into this year with ridiculous threats and inboxes, and specifically telling us not to address the issue and not talk about any of this stuff, which of course it makes me want to talk about it even more, especially since last year when it originally, when it happened, I was suspended off of Facebook time after time. It was like 30 days and then another 30 days. So I didn't get to really address it until later. And then when I was addressing it under my Angel Walsh account, I was being marked as spam. So if anyone's unfamiliar with the issue that I'm speaking about, last year, me and my family and a few of my select friends went up to a book signing in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, to protest Mick Foley and his little Santa Claus gimmick and obsession that he's, obsessed with being Santa Claus now. I personally have a problem with this, and we're going to go through some of my Facebook timeline to review some of the problems that I have had with Mick Foley and several other people over this incident. So let's just get right into it. It seems like every November something happens, and I don't know, it's like November to remember. Literally every November something really freaky happens, and everyone gets like crazy with me and just wants to start all kinds of shit. So last year, when there was nothing specifically too horrible going on, we were, Christina and myself, were trying to upload videos on Mermu YouTube and our other YouTube sites. And this was for the purpose of school projects and whatnot. So we just wanted the material to use, to include in a story for my daughter's story for school at Temple. Mike Avidable has joined us. Welcome, Mike. If you want to go back to that, we get to that. So on November 5th, we attempted to upload a match that I was a part of. This match was Cactus Jack and Tommy Dreamer with Woman, Nancy Benoit, and Tommy Cairo. Look it up, though. Tommy Cairo with the Virgin Princess Angel and for the Sandman. Yeah, Sandman. whatever. So we tried to upload that, and WWE blocked us and would not let us use it, and still to this day won't. So this was after the protest video. We didn't want to show the protest video because Joe Nardello has joined us. Welcome, Joe. We don't want to show the protest video because for some reason, when you go back in my timeline from last year, it's not shareable, and it says by the owner, which I didn't make it on shareable. Oh, yeah. And Facebook won't let me share it, and they also have taken down all the comments that were made. So I have no proof of how people were harassing me over this last year. So under this particular post about me trying to post a video of a match that I was a part of in ECW, in Extreme Championship Wrestling. I am the Virgin Princess Angel. So I was in the match, and I'm trying to upload it, and I can't. And I just made a comment about it that, WWE should just stop already. Because I'm not trying to make any money off of it. I'm just trying to friggin' upload a video so that my daughter can use it for material for school, because we're actually trying to get some stuff done. So here's some comments that, and this came after the Mick Foley thing. It's dated like a week after the posting. So this is James Duncan person says, if you're so angry and trying to make people believe Mick had sex with you when you were 15, why are you so upset that WWE took a video down? Are you so upset? I don't know why my eyes look googly in this can here. It looks a little weird. Well, as I just explained, and I didn't get to answer last year, I am so upset about it because if you can't see or don't understand, I'm in the video. Moving on. Would you like to take the next comment, Christina?
Sure. Okay, so all right. Tyler Costco says, I don't believe it at all. She's fucking crazy.
Okay, well, that's all in a matter of opinion. But I've never denied being crazy, so, Evan Romano has joined us. Welcome, Evan. Okay, so this Donnie Messer, which was a huge commenter.
No, but you just skipped one.
Oh, Mike I'm Scott. Sorry. Let's get to this Mike
Hopefully
Scott
this
comment.
Isn't the Mike Scott from The Office.
Right. It's funny that now these marks are getting all the attention that they wanted from last year, because I'm finally I've had just about enough.
They ask, is Mick younger than her, or at least very least around the same age? This seems ludicrous. Why does it seem ludicrous?
Okay, is Mick younger than her?
But
or at the very least around the same age. This is ludicrous. Like, if he was younger than me, what do you think the issue would be here? Or at least around the same age. If we were around the same age, again, what would be the issue here? And this seems ludicrous. The only thing that seems ludicrous is that you are the too mental to understand exactly what it is that's happening. So next, this Donnie Messer, who it was an excessive troll through the whole thing, who just said you thought he got it and then he didn't. Whatever. Mick was born in 1965. So bang, right? Boom, boom, bang. So you think if they figured that out, and then they all went to my profile and copied my pictures, which we'll all get to later, that they would figure out that I was born March 4th, 1975. Okay, so moving on. Well, Shane Musan says, And when was this lying bitch born? In other words, no matter what I say, I'm going to be a lying bitch. So it wouldn't matter what year I say. It wouldn't matter that you could just go on my profile and it's like right up there and like with all kinds of Pisces stuff everywhere and whatnot. My age has always been, well, very well known. And it's on my profile. It's like every year on my birthday. Like, just look it up. Okay, so, yeah, March 4th, 1975. So,
and then he said, all right, so this Donnie Messer.
No, you didn't get to the Michael Shorty.
Well, he just said she was born in 75.
Okay,
but then
so
Donnie Messer.
So then they should have figured it out after the 6th comment that someone said Mick Foley was born in 65 and I was born in 75. Okay.
So Donnie Messer comes back and says, unless you look at her profile from Pro Fight, then it is 1969. And this is what annoys me the most.
And
really,
you the most? my profile from Pro Fight says 1969 because once again, I don't want to have to keep explaining this. I am Angel Amoroso. I am not to be confused in any way, shape, or form with Angel Orsini. Yet you people keep fucking doing it. So if that's the mistake that you want to make, that's your stupid mistake that I keep correcting, and it's all over social media, me asking her to correct this, and I don't know why she would want the negative attention from it and not take it upon herself to correct the problem. Angel Orsini, you should correct this problem. This should be corrected. I understand when you go and we'll go into Google, and when you go into Google, there's a whole bunch of pictures of her and a whole bunch of articles, and in her profile says that she is also known as Angel Amoroso. And there's been incidents where people have told me that she has signed pictures of me from friggin' ECW from the early 90s when she was nowhere around. So perhaps she should clear that up for all of you, because I've tried my hardest on my end, and now that's up to her to continue to, you know, solve that mix-up thing. So moving on.
Okay, Scott Worley, who apparently knows everything.
This became one of the worst stalkers.
And he makes it so that I don't even exist. I'm not even here. Like, he's trying to say that that's not your mother, and you're not. I don't even know who you are or where you came from. Right. So anyway, I'm a liar about who I am too. When you know, cool. Trying to upload videos of Mick, and he puts with a capital H. So I'm not really sure why he chose to do that, but hashtag I stand with Mick Foley.
And let me just say this. And I'll get to the post eventually. My husband's friend and my buddy John Branken started a few weeks before this, November. A few weeks before this, he started a hashtag I stand with Angel Amoroso, because he had a Joe Cohen is joined us. Welcome, Joe. He had a problem with how people were, you know, sweeping this under the rug about this child molestation, and you know how ridiculous of a story that it was to not be listened to. So he started this hashtag. So when people were saying this, I stand with Mick Foley, they're countering a hashtag that someone started for me as a show of support, because even though they know Mick Foley, they also know me, and they know people that know me, and they know that this is the truth. So moving on, I'll take the next one. This Jeffrey James Koch says, "Get the network, ho." What's that? What is that? I'm assuming he's referring to the WWE network, and this Mark thinks that I want to watch a match of myself, and he's telling me that I should pay for a WWE subscription so that I can view my own self. I believe it's like $9.95 a month, and what do I get out of that? Not even acknowledgement that I was even there. So moving on, Donnie Messer says, so far her biggest piece of evidence she has provided was Paul E. dangerously cutting a promo on the Virgin Princess Angel character, which is like saying an actor is a rapist because he played one in a movie. I hope you could all see the split screen here. Move that up, please. Like I said, that you know, there's a lot of it. That said, there was only 4 comments. There's a lot of ridiculous comments, and we're going to get to some more. We're not going to spend too much time on. Okay, well, this is the post by John Rankin that was originally started, and I'll go over that a little bit. Let's see who's joined this post. Is anyone else joined us? Let's see. Okay, Sherry Benjamin has joined us. Welcome, Sherry. And Joe Cohen has joined us. Welcome, Joe. Okay, John Rankin, in this post on November 6th, 2017, said, they say in the business, never meet your heroes, they will disappoint you. 2 separate occasions, I was disappointed by a guy I looked up to for years. Then I met Angel through my friend and her husband, and I'm sure she's for real. If you could just, my post on this was that day, having a hard time posting and commenting on Facebook today, thanks to Dewey Foley, reporting my post as inappropriate, of which he did. His whole family was reporting my post as inappropriate. So commenting about his scumbag father, because that's what I did. I said, you want to make posts about #MeToo? You got stories and I got mine. But I guess I'm the only one who's going to get censored because of the who's I'm speaking out against. It's total bullshit, and you can suck my dick, right? So because of this, Dewey Foley was posting stories about #MeToo. So I figured I would, you know, let him know about what a scumbag his father was, and he took offense to it, and you know, tried to resolve it on Facebook. You know, please take this post down. It's inappropriate. Blah 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 blah. So, and this is how I get suspended because I speak my mind, and that's what happens. Now, these are some other posts that were made about videos that were made. Move that up, please. And this one is called Facebook Feelings featuring Mick Foley. Let me just explain this before you move that up. This was a conversation that took place in the RAIN group, rape and help me out here, rape and national incest. Okay, it's the group that Mick Foley is a representative for, oddly, and this conversation took place in there, and my husband pretty much, I don't know if we can play the video and come back to it. We won't try to do that, but pretty much it's a video of comments. And after like hours and hours of trying to address the situation with RAIN on Facebook and on Twitter, of all kinds of social media, RAIN has been trying to get addressed on this on many different occasions and has not responded, you know, in any way that's helpful. And it pretty much evolves to you, one of the people that is a representative for your group, oddly, had sex with a minor, okay, which whether or not was consensual at the age for the minor, is statutory rape. So, do you really think that this man is an appropriate representative for a rape and incest national network? Do you think that he should be spending time around vulnerable victims that might look up to him and idolize him as a figure of, you know, reasonability? And, you know, I took offense to this when I realized that he was a representative of this sort of thing. And he also worked on what was something like the Slut Project, Unslut Project, or whatever that is. And I feel as though this is, it's a weird thing to do. It's almost like people like myself. And like I said, I never said that I thought he was going around molesting all children or chasing all young tail, but they all do. But he did it to me. So that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying it about anyone else. But moving on, this video, if you want to go watch it on YouTube, evolved into a vicious argument of comments under there. I don't know about these comments here. Are just okay. We're not going to read those because there's a lot of cursing in there. I don't do too much into it. Okay, go on to the next one. So, going through these comments, and this was, of course, another video because on the RAIN site, every day my husband was on the site posting with several different posts, and a lot of people started asking for proof, and there were videos made, and you know, people watched the videos, and a lot of people in the RAIN group responded. Victims responded how you normally would, but oddly, the people who were supposed to be counselors within the group started blocking, you know, the access for us to post any messages. And if you can see the split screen here, these are a lot of people that are commenting on how they feel. You're just going through this. I guess we're not going to read this. It's not relevant. I mean, it's all relevant. And if you want to actually go back on my timeline, this is from November 6th, 2017. Some things we're not going to read, and other things that are just like more of the ridiculous things we'll go ahead and read. So, on the list there. This one. Okay, and this comment is in response to my friend John Rankin's post and the hashtag I stand with Angel Amoroso. So here's a response to that. Go on.
All she wants is money. If any of the wrestlers did this to her, why didn't she go to the cops? And then Danny Messer's back, and he says,
hold on. First off, if you go to the cops, you know, that doesn't, the cops don't give you money. So I don't know where this connection is of like, and I don't even know where the connection is that I'm saying or doing anything because I want or need money from anyone. I don't know where that came from, but yeah, keep assuming things. Go on.
Donnie Messer says because her parents would have been arrested as well.
You know what? Honestly, I wish my parents would have been arrested. And honestly, I think the one that still exists should be. So we're in agreement on one thing at least. Go on.
Donnie Messer says again, her mother helped her lie about her age to get into wrestling.
And then my mother actually never lied about my age, which is the sad thing about it, is that everyone knew about my age because my mother has a really great big giant mouth. So, you know, yeah. So keep assuming something.
And then Jeff Butler says this shit isn't true at all.
Yeah, well, of course, because he knows me so well. He knows me and all my family and my situation, and to know that anything that's said, yeah. And I know him too. I know you too. As some of them, we should just like black out the name and not even say, because we're doing something and giving these marks like attention, and they really don't fucking deserve it. And the only reason why I'm doing this is because oddly, a lot of these people that were like, we're not going to talk about this anymore, because I've seen on a few groups that were posted, it was like, let's just ignore this and not talk about it anymore. And things like, wasn't this debunked back in the 90s and now it's back? And after people saying that they never heard of it before, they're saying, wasn't this already like, you know, squashed and now this is back again and we're so sick of hearing about it? Listen, either you heard about it or you didn't. You know you fucking heard about it, and it keeps getting swept up under the rug. So you're going to keep fucking hearing about it. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what you're expecting here. And anything we can go on. Now, this was oddly around this time. Before this, I was doing a podcast with a friggin' idiot. And before this idiot and all of his group and his friends of maybe 300 people or so were all with me on this. And then after I cut off ties with him because he became an obsessive little jerk off, him and all his friends turned against me. And most of the trolls that are on here, I recognize as being, you know, part of his people, and we'll get into that much later. I have a lot of those shows on my Angel Amoroso versus YouTube if you want to go over there and check those out full. But we're also going to redo those here on Facebook Live because there are a whole bunch of fun shows about gang stalking. You'll see step by step exactly how people on the internet take the truth and twist it and make their own truths about it, and then anyone who's listening gets totally confused upon what's really going on and what the truth really is. So if you're interested in that, either keep tuning in here or you go over there and see it. So on with the comments of this ridiculousness. Dal, would you like to take this one?
Okay, so Mandy Gonterman says, or it's because you're a fucking liar and you can't even keep your story straight. Like Scott says, you know, I stand with Foley again.
Okay, what story was I not keeping straight? What was she even listening to that she thinks I'm not keeping my story straight? Like,
and some comments, like, I just don't get by people. So the next one is Chris Phoenix saying, you should be outing all those douchebags and quit lying about Mick. So what are you saying? Or is he trying to say you shouldn't be outing? Wait, I don't know what he's talking about when he's talking about douchebags.
Maybe he's talking about the other douchebags that I've listed.
Okay, so, I mean, if you're not lying about them, so why would you be lying about him?
I guess it's just like, it's selective. Like,
can't find another
who you like, who
way to be relevant.
Not. It's,
I mean, because that's what it's about. Okay. No, fine. Don't worry about it. So I stand with Mick, or disgusting. Who the fuck would want to see that?
Okay. By the way, in the comments on my
bunch of people standing with me, please. Lying ring rat, begging for attention, stupid. So you're a ring rat, though. So
again, we'd like to address, if I'm a ring rat, why is it that you think I'm lying? Like, why would I lie about this? And if I were to lie,
in such ways,
if like I so, were, yeah, in such ways. So, and if I were to lie, it would be like, honestly, like someone that you would maybe be jealous of me for, like Shawn Michaels or some shit. I don't know. You know, like an elaborate lie. Like I wouldn't be lying about Mick Foley and Paul Heyman and Bobby Eaton and Dave Meltzer, for Christ's sake. Do you really think that that's like something that is not absolutely fucking humiliating for me to admit? I mean,
please.
Moving on.
Jeffrey Zamora says it also rakes less time to take hashtag you're a liar. It also rakes less time to type hashtag you're a liar.
Well, assuming it's only a few words, but let's be sure that he meant takes.
Scott Worley's back. Liar. I stamped. Yeah, sure. So he's very harassing, this guy. Like, he commented about 500 times throughout the message board.
I actually had to report his account on Twitter, and yes, I did do that, Scott Worley, because there's something wrong with you guys.
I mean, obviously.
No, like, and this was just a few days ago.
I couldn't even.
I can't
it was
believe
like, I wasn't
even
here typing these things back, according to this guy. Like, I wasn't.
Unbelievable.
So, why don't you admit for once in your life you're a liar? Stop all this shit. You never stepped foot in WCW or WWE. We both know that I don't know why you're doing this, but it come back on you.
He's talking like I know who he is. I have no idea.
We both know that I don't know why you're doing this.
We both know why. How would I know what the hell he thinks and why? Like, first off, I don't know you. So, and wait, once in your life admit you're a liar and you never stepped foot in, I never stepped foot in WCW or WWE. Like,
all right, let's go on. I mean, there's so much, like, it's so ridiculous. Kyle Newsom says, it's a sad world when someone can just say someone sexually assaulted them with absolutely no evidence and publicly ruin someone's life in an attempt to get money or 15 minutes of fame. I'm not even a wrestling fan, but this is sad. People remembering the accusations, but not if they were found to be innocent of wrongdoing. She kept it to herself until all the sexual stuff started coming out in Hollywood, and he's thinking about it. Yeah, you should be, because that's not even true. It suddenly hit her. A way to get her name known and hopefully get paid. These women say you should never believe women without question. Well, what if she was doing this to your husband, brother, or dad?
First off, what the fuck am I getting paid for this? And as this Beppy Lopolo said, this is not the first time she has tried to speak up about this. Thank you for paying attention, Beppy, because this is not the first time I have spoke up about this. As I said, this has been going on for a lifetime since I have been a teenager, and my daughter has also been working on stories about this in film school, pretty much all of her high school and college life. So, and no one, as many people as keep saying about why didn't you go to the cops? Like, why don't you understand that you don't know me and you haven't listened to the situation or watched a video or an interview or anything, listened to anything that I've said to know that I've already answered your questions, and that was one of them. If you didn't hear the answer to the question, maybe you should go back and watch this stuff that I referred you to. And the answer is I did.
Okay, so Brendan Ball says, too bad your story has more holes in it than Swiss cheese. Lisa Weaver says,
how does it have holes in it? Like, I want to know what story they listened to and what source they got it from, because
it's not happening here.
No, I mean, we're going to go through the articles, and I understand that a lot of the articles that covered it did get a lot of the information wrong. But the thing is, they put, like, there's a picture of me, a screenshot picture of the live stream video that says what it says, and it says 15 years old on the poster, and then the headline of the article says 16 and 17. Like, the fucking picture's right there. You put the picture. All right.
Anyway,
go on.
Lisa Weaver says it's going to be hysterical when Foley decides to file a defamation suit against her and subpoenas her tweets when she claims this occurred in 1994 when she was 15.
Is that what I said?
Wait,
because I calculate my age wrong because I don't know myself. Is that what I said, bitch? Really?
Especially since she was born in 75, which would have made her 18 or 19 at the time.
Okay, so maybe you're getting the year wrong because you can't read a fucking poster. But go on.
The psychotic twat forgot to do a little bit of basic math before contriving this insane story. So how can you do math about your own friggin' age?
In other words, I'm the psychotic twat.
Like, you know,
because
every year it comes around, you're like, okay, I'm a year older than I was last year.
I know my own birthday. And
maybe
the only psychotic twat for not being able to calculate properly is you, my dear. You are a fucking, you're like a mental retard when it comes to, like, you know what? I will give no more. You can control all the comments.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, some things don't deserve a response, but I figured some things kind of do because it's so ridiculous. Some things that you people say are so ridiculous, and it's not as if the same thing wasn't being said over and over and over and over and over again by different people on the same exact thread, and they kept getting the answer, and then it seemed like they all understood, and then all of a sudden it was twisted back around again. And these are people, by the way, that I've never seen on Facebook. I've never seen in anyone's groups. Some people I did, but you know, of course, you know, they have their opinions. They're entitled to their opinions. Here's something with 33 comments, so we'll go with that. Okay, so we'll go with this one, and this one is on November 15th. I posted it. That's right. It says we're coming for you. And this was a video that said Mick Foley had sex with 14-year-old Angel Amoroso. Now, let me just explain that people say, oh, she's changing the story, and because she said 14, then she said 15. No, I said 14 and 15. No one said it was just once. So, and getting into that was a video about that was taken down off of YouTube after it had got thousands and thousands and thousands of views and terrible comments on it. It got taken down off of YouTube for, you know, for cyberbullying or whatever it is we're doing to him, right? So, okay, let's get into some of these comments here.
Okay, so Timothy Tim says, why don't you make this more public and get them in trouble if it's true? Not saying it isn't, or it's just saying if they did this, it should be no.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. I mean, and Timothy Tim knows that I have been talking about this for a while, and you know, he's interacted with some people that know that it's true, and
and then you respond back, and then Ross Sports says, which podcast? He says, podcast. Donnie Messer says, why not confront him face to face? So this was the day before.
Why not confront? Oh, okay. The day before we went, people were saying, why not?
Then he comes
why
back
not confront him face to face, right? Okay. Okay, that's just Kevin Lawler confirming that I was 18 years old when we dated, which, you know, I'm not sure on.
It was like
What are you doing? Okay. All right. These are some of the comments under this bullshit video. Okay, Yoko said, Angel, we need to get this out there, major news. And I said, I know it's just been hard to get this out there. Now, this was before all this happened, and I got suspended. I said, it's hard to get that out. There were people reporting on me on social media every time I try to say something, and this will end now. And I meant that when I said it. I meant that, because I'm sick of talking about stuff and people not listening. Okay, and I also said I already have like over 20 people in my inbox back, but you know, it won't be about this. I will again still publicly state that I'm not jumping on any bandwagons, and you wouldn't be accusing me of that if you watch my YouTube channels to follow me on to see that I've been addressing this issue for a long time before anything else happened. And Kevin Waller wanted to confirm that, you know, how old were you when I was there? And it was 1993 because we dated in 93. More replies go to, let's see, this someone shaking my head, and I said, keep shaking your head, asshole. Okay, someone said something that it must have got deleted, but I told them to go eat a dick and gave them the finger. And then as I put this post up and we were checking YouTube, getting notifications, there was this one video up, and as you can see, this is what I mean. The video was up like for at least a couple years, and I say forever, like it's a couple years. But it was recorded like that day and taken down. And that was the day that I had the problem with Dewey Foley. So I assumed that you know, he was on there being a little douche. Or Dave Meltzer, because Dave Meltzer was having, I believe it was Dave Meltzer having my posts and comments deleted on Reddit and several other formats. So I explained here that within that week, for some reason, my 2 Daily Motion accounts and the Vimeo account, the YouTube full of videos, an entire YouTube full of videos was reported and taken down, and YouTube never got back to me to say, oh, this is why, or anything like that. They just took the whole YouTube down with all my videos on it. So that was some spiteful shit that people were reporting last year. Let's see. Someone just randomly told me to fuck off. And then this, that got 2 big hearts on it from this being Fuso, this dickhead, said, well, why wouldn't you go on Dr. Phil then? I'm not telling you how to live your life, but if people are offering you platforms, then let your voice be heard. Now, he was saying that because I wasn't talking to him, and he was trying to get involved in my conversations to try to talk to me again while I was ignoring him. And he actually had people contacting me acting like they were from Dr. Phil. And then I found out it was him, and then it was no big, you know, mystery anymore. And this guy, Jeff Zamora, says, because she knows that Dr. Phil would expose her ass in less than 10 minutes. Hey, you know what? Initially, when I seen it in my group Wrestling Bitch, which you can see from last year, the post is still there. I initially said, you know how I feel about Dr. Phil, and I would never even consider doing something like that. But after a comment like that, you know what? You're right. Dr. Phil would tear this apart in less than 10 minutes. So I'm not really opposed to it too much anymore. How about that? How about how much a year changes things, huh? So Lynn Brown says, so you're the one who passed the phone number. And she says that to V because Lynn Brown knows me forever. Lynn Brown, one of my best friends, and knows that all this is true. And she is very intelligent, and she kept track of the whole conversation, and she knows that he's the one who did this. So he responds with a no. And this Mike Williams guy says, the first time, obviously, you really are full of shit. You know that? Like, what's the first time, obviously? Like, just complete your fucking sentences, at least, if you want to come at me. You sound like they're not even educated in any way. And then this guy goes on to say, she knows she's full of shit. What kind of victim laughs about it? It's about attention. She obviously never became shit in the wrestling world and is jealous of his fame. Are you fucking serious? Are they serious? Like, look, she knows she's full of shit. I know I'm full of shit. No, I think I know you're full of shit. And the kind of victim that laughs about it is the kind of victim that's laughing at your dumbass for not believing the truth. That's what I'm fucking laughing at. And I'm also laughing at the fact that it's something that I have been stereotyped, I guess you would say, stigmatized with my entire life as being known as a groupie and a ring rat and, you know, a whore amongst the wrestling community is now something that I've accepted who I am and what I've done. And now, even though the same people who are calling me ring rat and whore and all that other stuff still are saying that I'm lying. So it's kind of like, yeah, I gotta laugh about it, because if I don't laugh about it, I'll go back to crying about it, and then I'll end up in a fucking straitjacket. And as much as you may want that, I don't want it anymore. So this is how I'm going about it. And if you don't like it, you can eat a whole big bag of dicks, motherfucker. It's all about attention. No, it's not. But I see that you're giving it attention. She obviously never became shit. See, I have to dissect this word by word. She obviously never became shit in the wrestling world and is jealous of his fame. First off, I became enough of someone for you to know who I am. And I'm not really the type of person that has like feelings like jealousy and stuff like that about anyone. If anything, I've been the type of person to help people in professional wrestling. So as far as me, including him, by the way. So as far as the theory of maybe I'm jealous of him, that's absolutely absurd. Next comment. Would you like to take the next few comments? Oh. Right there.
Okay, Shane Musson says, what's with the laughing face, you lying ass cunt?
And I was laughing at him because he's ridiculous. That's what the laughing face is about. And I laugh at everything.
You call Damien Darling fun. Yeah. Okay, Mike Williams says, yep, you were after his money with your bullshit lies.
Okay, so at what point in which video did he come to the conclusion that, yep, you're after his money? That's what this is. I've cracked the case.
Now.
Yeah, exactly. And last year, I had to, once I got suspended, I started responding under my Angel Walsh account in defense of myself with middle fingers and, you know, different, like, you know, go eat dick comments and whatever. And Facebook, who's supposed to be on your side when you're getting harassed, left all these comments up that people calling me cunts and liars and rats and whores and all kinds of abusive, harassing comments and stuff. And they left all that up there. Yet, you know, my comments were getting marked as spam when I tried to defend myself. Who was that? Can I ask you that? It's the chat. Yvonne Lingolis has joined us. Welcome, Yvonne. Michael Silverossi has joined us. Welcome, Michael. Chris Craven has joined us. Welcome, Chris. Yokozuna has joined us. Welcome, Yoko. And Christina J. Poles has joined us. Yay! Christina's here. All right. We are going over some of the absolutely ridiculous, harassing comments that we had to deal with last year that blended into this year and continues to fill my inbox and my direct messages on Twitter. It makes it so that I don't want to even go on Instagram anymore. So you guys keep it up. So we're going to keep it up as well. Moving on to some other lovely comments that were posted last year under this that I get to address. Christina, would you like to?
Simon Gregory says, I love the idea that she calls herself a former groupie at WCW and WWE. There are dudes on here that fucked her, that had no clue how old she was while doing it, but somehow Mick banging her, he should have known.
I don't know what kind of comment really that is. That's a,
I can't really decipher whether that's on.
Yeah, because he's acknowledging.
No hi.
No. That's the thing. We're not hiding anything. Okay, so I'm not sure if that was exactly like. I do list myself as a groupie, but how would he assume that no one knew how old I was when they were doing it? That's not true, doll. That's unfortunately part of the excitement there. But you know, if you want to add your own twist in there to try to make it a story that fits your liking better, go on.
Okay, Billy Middleton says her bio is online and she has never been in WCW and never been in WWE. Her entire career was ECW until 2000.
That's not true. Until 2000. Did they even run until 2000?
After that, she was running around the independent circuits with juggalos with a guy named Chick Foley.
A guy named
Chick
Foley? Oh, Lord.
I can't.
It's not only that they're getting, no, it's not only that they're getting information wrong about me now, but, okay, my
Did you just assume his gender?
First off, I never said I was in
Did you just assume
WCW. Hold on. Let me just address this. I never said I was in WCW or WWE. I didn't work there. I wasn't in the ring, and I never got a paycheck from them, even though they use my material and they get paid from it, and I see absolutely nothing ever. So, yeah, I never said that I worked for those companies. My entire career was in ECW until 2000. Dude, no, it wasn't. I don't even know what you're talking about, ECW 2000. I really don't. I was there from fucking 1993, honestly, to 1995, and, you know, some bits around the locker room doing odds and ends after that. So I don't know where you're getting that information from. And other than that, like, juggalos, like, independent, first off, independent, you need to learn how to friggin' spell. Get a thesaurus, get a dictionary, do yourself a favor, maybe go back to school a little bit, just so you won't look like such a friggin' dickhead when you're trying to insult somebody. All right, so the Chick Foley was not a dude, just so you're aware of, you know. There's a big sensitivity about genders here, and that, you know, Chick Foley was a girl, a female wrestler named Kathy Walsh. People know as Katra. Also, so no, it was not a dude. What were those other things that you passed by there?
Some yarn.
Okay.
bunch of nonsense.
Okay,
Again.
yeah, that's just making people.
Okay, and then you say, what you say.
Okay, well, I said, oh, look, the stranger who thinks that they're entitled to answers have started to stalk elsewhere, laughing my ass off. You are all entitled to your opinions. Just realize that I don't give a fuck about them. Now get the fuck off my page, Marks, okay? Now this is what I said. After trying to reasonably answer questions that people were asking, and even though there's some stupid questions, I try to clear things up. Because if people say you're making accusations and then you're not explaining yourself, sure, I'm going to explain myself. If your question is reasonable enough, I'm going to answer your question. But, you know, the questions just started to get like too ridiculous. And it's like, if I answer something more than once and you're trying to change the answer, then, you know, I'm just going to, it's like beating a dead fucking horse with you people. So, go on. You read his response to me, please.
Okay. Simon Gregory says, clearly you don't. You know, because of all the responding and all. Frankly, I don't care if you had sex with Foley or not. I just think it's absurd you were trying to make it out like you weren't a wrestler fucker. Why?
How am I trying to make it out like I wasn't a wrestler fucker? Do you see my the picture on my fucking profile? Go on.
When clearly you were a wrestler fucker. There's nothing wrong with fucking dudes when you're 15, 16, and 17.
There's not?
Really? But, like, don't try and make it out like Mick fucking a groupie he wasn't aware was 15 is the same thing as a grown man molesting a child. You are taking away from women who were actually abused. You should be ashamed of yourself.
Does he know all the different ridiculous statements that he just made to make himself look like... wait, hold off, because this is one that I have to break up. Clearly you don't know. You know because of all the responding and all. First off, all the responding comes from all the questioning. And if you're questioning something and then accusing someone of, you're hiding something because you're not responding, then yeah, I'm going to start responding. So now you're complaining that I'm responding? Okay. I can't win either way. I really can't. So frankly, I don't care if you had sex with Foley or not. Okay, so if you don't care, then why are we on, like, what, the 17th comment of you talking about how you know things for a fact? No, I just think it's absurd you are trying to make this out like you weren't a wrestler fucker. When and where did I ever say or do that? Like you said earlier, it says on my profile, groupie at the NWA, WCW, WWE. So when was it that I tried to hide that I was a wrestler fucker? Okay. There's nothing wrong with fucking dudes when you're 15, 16, or 17. Really? Is there not anything wrong with fucking guys when you're 15, 16, 17 years old? Because I hope Simon Gregory
15 at least. That's not. I'm not.
Okay, but
16 to 17 are like those ages. Like
it is those ages where questionable. And like I said, I don't bring up 16 to 17 because they are questionable ages. But 15 years old, if you're saying that that's okay, and you have a sister or you know, God forbid, a daughter, and you think that that's all cool for your 15-year-old to be having sex with a 25-year-old man, then yeah, you need to reevaluate your priorities in life and how you look at the world. Yeah, and then he says, but like, don't try to make it out like Mick fucking a groupie he wasn't aware was 15 at the time. It's the same thing as a grown man molesting a child. Who said that no one was aware of this? Like, I want to know where these people, exactly where they got their information from, other than listening to that being Fuzo and his friends who were spreading lies all over the place. Like, I don't know where they got this from that no one knew that I was 15. And it is the same thing as a grown man molesting a child, because a 15-year-old is a child compared to a 25-year-old. That's the 10-year difference, dear. Look it the fuck up, before you try to prove someone else wrong. Okay? You are taking away from women who are actually abused. You should be ashamed of yourself. Now, I would like to know, a lot of people have said that, and I would like to know how it is I'm taking away from women who were abused by exposing a whole group full of fucking people who abused me as a child. I'm speaking out about it. So how am I taken away from women by doing that? I've heard that so many times.
Taken away from women would be like standing up for the
right. It would be like me saying like, oh, it was okay that they all molested me, right. And even though I've been through years of therapy,
just because they
to
decided,
understand that they were not my family or friends, and I was a child, and they took advantage of me by having sex with me in all different kinds of ways. They were not my friends. They were not trying to do favors for me or further my career in any way. I wasn't a wrestler. They would call me one because they had something to hide. And if anyone wants to continue to be deluded over that, that's fine. But I'm no longer deluded, and I haven't been delusional about that in a long time. So make fun of my wrestling abilities, my wrestling skills, my fighting skills, and all that. But understand that I was only involved in all of that because there was a huge ring of people trying to cover up the fact that they did stuff with me when they weren't supposed to. So let's go on with the rest of the comments.
Skank liar.
Of course, skank liar.
You fucked all the wrestlers and now want some attention. You call us marks. You is attention seeking for nothing more, nothing less.
I is
you are a waste of life. Karma will fuck you for real, you stupid cunt. Your lies will be twisted.
You know what? I would love for, you know what? I would love for Karma to come around, and then people like this freak could, you know, his karma could come around on him. Calvin Harrington has joined us. Welcome, Calvin. Calvin. Welcome, Calvington. Honey, you know I mean Calvin.
Okay,
I'm just like, I'm beyond
Professor out.
annoyed.
You and your mom lied about your age for years and worked the wrestlers and local guys, and you were a willing participant. I remember you bragging about your conquests. You were a pathetic person then and now.
First off, proof ouch. I have maybe okay. Perhaps if you would put a real screen name there, I would know who you were. But you're claiming to know me and my mom, my mother, who lied about my age for years and worked the wrestlers and local guys. I was a willing participant and who bragged about my conquest. First off, I'm a pathetic person then, I'm a pathetic person now. If you think, if you did know me, which is you don't, because you would know that that was my sister and not my mother, you fucking dumbass. My mom was only around for a small amount of time, and no one lied about my age. Let's see. And bragging about my conquest, I wouldn't, if you know that I was a young person back then, and you say I was a pathetic person then and I'm a pathetic person now, you think that I was pathetic for being molested when I was a child, and now I'm a pathetic adult for telling everyone how I realized how wrong it was and how I feel terrible about myself. And I have post-traumatic stress. Sometimes I want to fucking kill myself about this shit. But that makes me pathetic, obviously, then as a child and now as an adult. First off, I'm not bragging about conquests, all right? When someone says I was raped, when someone says I was sexually assaulted, when someone says this was done without my permission, that when someone says I'm a victim, and after years of therapy, I finally realized then But now I realize it even more on a larger level, that I'm a victim, and every time I try to talk about this, it's viewed as, here's this whore trying to brag about her conquests and ruin people's lives and relationships and marriages and families. I'm not trying to do that. I'm not trying to ruin anyone's lives. You all know what you did in your past life, and I know what I did. I've come to terms with it, and I've come to grips with what I've done, and I have to live with myself and how I feel about all this. So why should I be the only one who has to live with it? If you think that I'm a pathetic person for exposing the truth about how I've lived my life and how I still suffer over these things, maybe you need to take a look at yourself and how you view this subject in the world. Next.
Okay, so Jeffrey Zamora and Simon Gregory are responding to this Professor Ouch as if, see, this is how fake news is dangerous. And this is really fake news, because they're assuming and they're just deciding that this guy is telling the truth
And
about knowing
he
you.
knows me. Right. Exactly.
So they're like confirming that this guy knows what he's talking about when no one knows who the hell he is. So Jeffrey Zamora says, ouch, when you try to make up false accusations for attention, but people from your past that knew you come back to expose you, laugh my ass off.
Right, and who knows this person? I don't know this person. They just claim.
So just because that's what they want to hear, basically,
they know
right?
Me, and they don't. And if they did,
anyway, going on, and there it is, Professor Ouch. I've been waiting for someone to say it. When you don't count anyone you were with at 16 or 17, it's only a matter of time before someone who was with you or around you at 15 starts remembering you bragging. I don't really. What?
I don't even understand what that means.
Let them, without sin, cast the first stone or some such nonsense. All right, whatever. Prove it, you stupid big mouth bandwagon, ugly looking whore. Oh, how intelligent. Maybe because you are a liar. Just saying. No, she did actually fuck anything in wrestling boots.
Oh, okay. So this is the same Professor Ooch who said that I was a liar about all these accusations, and
he said that you were.
But no, I'll fuck anything in wrestling boots now. This is the way stories.
Fergus Dornan says you're taking shit. You accused all of them wrestlers of rape. If some of them did it years ago, which they probably didn't, why not report it to the cops then? Why bring it up now? You're just trying to get famous.
And first off, and this Professor Ooch says she was a willing participant, which let me please stress that these people, they twisted this to make it fake news and said that on some format, which none of them could prove, that I said that everyone that I listed as a name, that I said that they raped me. That they were like, like they held me down and raped me. I didn't say that every single one of them did that. I said a few of them did that, and it was horribly unnecessary because they're right. I was a willing participant in a lot of circumstances, and it was not necessary for these particular people to do the things that they did to brutalize me and rape me in the ways that they did, in ways that my tailbone ended up broken, and hair was pulled out of my head, and I was beaten around, and those things were not necessary because I was a willing participant, whether or not I was 13 or 14 or 15 years old, and it wasn't necessary. But those incidents with those people, that was rape. I'm not saying every single person out of 20 plus that I have mentioned was rape. I'm not saying that. But according to my age, which was 12, 13, 14, 15, and like I said, I'm not counting 16 years old because a lot of people have disputed me on it so much about the states, of which the states that it happened in 16 years old is against the law. So I should count it. But, like I said, that is considered statutory rape, if anyone wants to look up that law, or maybe some people are just, you know, already that smart and educated to know the difference between rape, sexual assault, and statutory rape. So for all of those of you who are getting it confused, whether or not a participant is willing under the age of 16, that's still considered statutory rape. So now we've all learned something.
They didn't learn nothing. Anyway, people making up stories about wrestlers. Liar. You misrepresented your age for years and were a willing participant to hit politely. You conned many horny guys in and out of wrestling. You were haughty and self-important then, and I guess bitter and used up today, to put it politely.
Pardon, but I did not misrepresent. Hold on. I did not ever misrepresent my age. Everyone has always known my age.
We already went over this, though.
Willing participant to hit politely. I don't even know what that means. I didn't con any horny guys. If anything, they conned me. And I were haughty and self-important then, and I guess bitter and used up today. Bitter and used up today. I'm a married woman, and I have not been around wrestling or wrestlers in so many years, I can't even tell you. So for the people who are still calling me rat and, oh, you're used up and bitter because no one wants you anymore, I'm a married woman. I don't want these motherfuckers. The fuck you think? Well, what are they even thinking of by saying something like that? Go on.
Okay, Jeffrey Samora is back. He says, YouTube headline says 14. Her own side said 15. Can't even get story straight. Obvious attempt at money and attention.
First off, if you watch the video, idiot, it says 14 and 15. No, like I said, no one ever mentioned how many times things happen. Like, I didn't make a list and say, here's the person and here's how many times it happened. Except the other day when I mentioned about Dave Meltzer, because my good friend Carmine Despirito brought it up. And, you know, because Dave Meltzer is a fucking joke. And he is also a child molester who had sexual relations with me, allowed sex in Philadelphia, Baltimore, Maryland, and Chicago. And I can't wait for him to try to deny that shit, because I'll kick him in his little fucking midget dick if he does. Just know that, Dave Meltzer. Moving on.
Hey, you're talking shit. You've been banged more times than a cab driver story. So you were 14 when this happened, or 15, as your sign said outside of his book signing. What year do you claim this to be? 1993? And if it is 1993, you mean to tell me that you were 11, 12 years old on the Tom Robinson benefit show that Coraluzzo had in putting together in Philly in 1990, the one you have a video of on your own YouTube page.
Yeah, that's right. And that video...
And they linked the video.
Oh, great. And they linked the video, which is awesome. Yeah, the Tom Robinson benefit show in November of 1990. Yeah. Yes, I was 15 years old, as you could see here on the right.
Very good.
I don't know how.
Thank you for the attachments.
Yeah, I don't know exactly how you would get the first part of what you said wrong and then get the second part of it right.
Okay. Going on to the obsessed Scott Worley. To names plus the time. What? To name, I guess he's trying to say. You need a fucking translator here. To name plus the time you're giving isn't adding up. If Mick and all these guys, the guys is capitalized. Oh my god. All right, did this, which I don't believe. Live you. All right, anyway, I'm gonna start over again.
No, guys is a proper noun. I'll do it.
No, which I don't believe.
Please let me do this.
That would make you as sick as they are letting them get away all these years when they was in a spot to hurt other children. Now, do the right thing for once in your life and admit you're lying about Mick and the rest of these guys, because Mick joined ECW in '94. You would been, what, 19 years old? You disgust me. Have a nice day. I stand with Mick. so you keep spreading that shit.
I would just love to break down like what he said, but some of it is just so incomprehensible that I can't. But then he attaches a name. Hold on. It says Mick Foley calls Rick. Mick Foley woman calls Rick comes. I don't know what the fuck that means. And then it says the list. What the hell does that mean? Mick Foley woman calls Rick comes. What?
I think that's like
okay. And then it says Paul Heyman, Mick Foley, Dave Meltzer, Ric Flair, Brutus Beefcake, Ultimate Warrior, Road Dogg, Brian Pillman, Marty Jannetty, Arn Anderson. They missed some. They missed some. So that's their problem. And this pool shitter, Dana Dane, is here, who shit in Rob Feinstein's pool, bitch. You're a fucking pool shitter. Says you're a liar. Now this bitch stalked me all around in different groups about this situation. You got a real problem, pool shitter. You need to keep those ass cheeks tight. You know, if you're drunk, like, you know, when you feel a loose one coming out, it might feel like a fart, but you let it out, it's a turd, and you know, we all know what we see. So, okay.
All right, she's a big damn liar. Look at, she has labeled before, now she's going to get someone hurt and needs to stop. Like, the child the one who's molested is going to get someone hurt. Don't worry about it.
Right. Don't worry about, I might be hurt in some way, and then
he starts with the threats. You will never get rid of me. I will prove you were a liar.
And he was right.
Your what is a liar?
No, and you know what? That was 1 year ago, and he proved himself to be a man of his word, because I did never get rid of him. He's still messaging me, so he was a man of his word.
Yusef Moore says, why would she make this up for publicity? She's protesting too for money? That doesn't make sense. Sexual assault in pro wrestling is rampant. Did you see Roddy Piper's interview about Pat Patterson? Pat Patterson is known to be a freak. Sorry anything happened to you, Miss Angel Amoroso.
And thank you very much, Yusef, because, yeah, there's some people who see it and acknowledge it, and this is the way they respond. There's not too many of them, unfortunately. But some people see through bullshit. Go on.
Okay, so Mick Foley is not Pat Patterson. Sorry to break it to you. Yusef Moore says, freaks at freaks. Why would she protest? Wouldn't she name a richer wrestler?
And that's something that people need to really think about. And the thing is, he said she's protesting too for money. That doesn't make sense. Why doesn't everyone see that doesn't make sense? Like, who's paying me? Who's paying me here? Well, I want this money. Where's it coming from?
Okay, Donnie Master says, Mick Foley is quite rich because he is very frugal his entire career. Also, I think she doesn't wish to bring this to court because her parents would be charged as well. I don't think he would care about them. That's like your lazy point.
I wish they would have been charged. Fuck out of here.
Like we have like good family ties or whatever.
Right? If it wasn't for them, I wouldn't even be trapped up in that mess.
Cool story, bro. I stand with Foley. So maybe like that's the end of this. So maybe we should stop here for now because I think it's been over an hour.
Has it been over an hour?
Yeah, this can go on for.
All right. Will anybody else join us that we should know about before we go? Ricky Atosu joined us. Anthony Miller joined us. Welcome. Justin Tracy joined us. Welcome, Justin. Let's see. Ricky says, Angel, remember if a mark likes someone, they can do no wrong. These are some of the same people who want to sue the world. What the fuck are these people saying? Same fuckers who support RF. And I gotta agree with you 100% there. You wouldn't imagine the things that are going on with lawyers and threats and whatnot. And the more they tell me to shut up, the louder I'm going to get. Tim Warner joined us. Thank you for joining, Tim. Jeremy Seabolt joined us. Thanks for joining us, Jeremy. Justin Nett joined us. Was that about it?
Yeah.
And as we could see, that's all that joined us. There could be more, but, you know, we have problems with the chat and everything. I hope everyone could see the other side of the screen so they know exactly what it was that we were reading, and you can go back and read through yourself if you're interested. We're going to continue this episode by episode, you know, because it's the holidays, and we're giving St. Nick a holiday special dedicated just to you. So join us next time for episode 3 of Fuck You, Mick Foley. And we'll be back probably shortly with Fuck You, Mick Foley. For Christina G. Polis, I am Angel Amoroso, and thank you so much for joining us. Hope you've had a wonderful time here on Facebook Live with us. Have a good night and good play.
Okay, so that concludes episode 2 of Fuck You, Mick Foley. And we're just going to close this out. And that concludes us for episode 2. So thank you for joining us here on Angel Amoroso Versus. Please like, comment if you'd like. Share if you're interested in sharing, and please subscribe so then you'll get updates on when more live streams and videos are coming at you. Until the next time, have a nice night and a nice life.